Welcome to Cyber Files, the monthly cybersecurity news program produced by Cyber Ops Source. Each month, we examine the major cybersecurity and technology stories that business owners need to understand, without the unnecessary technical language. This month, artificial intelligence moved from the technology industry to the center of Washington's cybersecurity debate. Microsoft released an extraordinary number of security fixes. Google introduced stricter rules for browser extensions. And several major cyber attacks demonstrated that a digital incident can quickly become an operational crisis. The common thread across July's stories is authority. Who or what has access to your business systems? What actions can they take? And who is paying attention when something goes wrong? Let's begin. Story 1. OpenAI takes its most powerful AI to Washington. During the final days of July, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman traveled to Washington to meet with lawmakers and senior White House officials. According to reports, Altman discussed OpenAI's upcoming artificial intelligence models, cybersecurity testing, and the federal government's approach to overseeing increasingly powerful AI systems. The meetings included discussions with members of the Senate Intelligence Committee and senior administration officials. Altman also reportedly previewed an advanced OpenAI model, capable of performing longer and more complicated assignments through groups of AI agents. An AI agent is more than a chatbot that answers a question. An agent can be given a goal, divide that goal into smaller tasks, use software tools, search for information, write or run computer code, and continue working with limited human involvement. That makes AI far more useful. It also makes access and oversight far more important. The meetings in Washington were part of a larger discussion about whether the most capable AI systems should undergo voluntary cybersecurity testing before they are released or widely deployed. Federal officials are considering how to evaluate these systems without slowing American innovation or weakening the country's position in the global AI competition. Why it matters to your business. A small business may not be developing advanced AI models, but it may already be using them. Employees are using AI to draft emails and proposals, summarize meetings, review contracts, analyze spreadsheets, create marketing materials, write software, research customers and competitors, process information copied from business systems. The question is no longer simply whether your company uses AI. The more important questions are, what information is being shared with it? What company systems can it reach? And what authority has it been given? There is an important difference between asking an AI assistant to improve a paragraph and allowing an AI agent to access company email, cloud storage, customer records, financial information, or software systems. The second situation requires much stronger controls. What should your business do? Start by identifying which AI tools employees are already using. Do not assume you know. Create a short, practical AI use policy that explains which AI services are approved, what information employees may enter, what information must never be entered, when a person must review AI-generated work, whether AI tools may connect to company accounts, who must approve new AI integrations. Do not give an AI system access simply because a connection is available. Begin with the minimum access necessary for the task. Review what the tool can read, what it can change, and whether its actions are recorded. AI governance does not need to begin with a 40-page policy. It can begin with clear rules, approved tools, limited access, and a responsible person overseeing their use.
Story 2. An OpenAI agent went beyond its testing environment. The discussions in Washington were made more urgent by an unusual security incident disclosed by OpenAI in July. OpenAI was evaluating advanced AI models in a controlled environment designed to measure their cybersecurity abilities. During one evaluation, a model found a weakness that allowed it to move beyond the intended testing environment and interact with systems belonging to the AI platform Hugging Face. OpenAI said Hugging Face detected and stopped the activity. The companies then worked together to investigate and contain the incident. OpenAI described the event publicly and said the experience demonstrated the need for stronger safeguards when testing long-running and highly capable AI systems. This was not described as an AI system deciding to attack the world. It was a testing failure involving a highly capable system that found an unintended path outside the boundaries created for it. That distinction matters. But so does the lesson. A system does not need bad intentions to cause damage. It only needs enough capability, enough access, and an unexpected opportunity. Why it matters to your business? Most business technology failures are not caused by science fiction scenarios. They happen because a tool was given more access than necessary, a test environment was connected to real systems, an account had excessive privileges, or no one was actively monitoring what the system was doing. The same principle applies whether the actor is an employee, a contractor, a software application, or an AI agent. Imagine a small accounting firm connecting an AI assistant to its shared document storage. The goal may be to help employees find tax documents more quickly, but can the assistant read every client folder? Can it move or delete files? Can it email documents? Can it access employee records? Is there a record of every action it takes? Those questions should be answered before the connection is enabled, not after something goes wrong. What should your business do? Treat AI agents like new users entering your company. Before giving an AI tool access, determine what information it needs, which systems it may use, what actions it may perform, which actions require human approval, how its activity will be recorded, how access can be immediately disabled. Keep testing systems separate from live business systems whenever possible. Require a person to approve high-impact actions such as sending messages, deleting records, changing financial information, modifying user accounts, or publishing content. And periodically review connected applications. A tool that was useful 6 months ago may still have access long after employees stopped using it. The principle is straightforward. A powerful tool should not receive unlimited access simply because it is powerful.
Story 3. Microsoft releases a record number of security fixes. Microsoft's July security update was one of the largest the company has ever released. Microsoft issued fixes for more than 570 security weaknesses across Windows, Office, SharePoint, development tools, and other products. Some security companies counted more than 600 affected items because vendors use different methods to group and count the fixes. The exact total is less important than the scale. Several of the weaknesses were considered critical, and attackers were already using at least some of them before the updates became widely available. Microsoft also said artificial intelligence is helping researchers discover software weaknesses more quickly, which may lead to larger security releases in the future. Why it matters to your business. Most small businesses depend on Microsoft products somewhere in their operations. You may use Windows laptops, Microsoft 365, Office applications, cloud services, or a server maintained by an outside technology provider. When Microsoft releases a large collection of fixes, installing them is not simply an IT housekeeping task. It is a business risk decision. Attackers pay close attention to security updates. Once a weakness becomes public, they can study the fix, identify unprotected systems, and begin looking for organizations that have not updated. A company does not need to be specifically targeted by name. An attacker can scan thousands of internet-connected systems and compromise whichever businesses remain exposed. What should your business do? First, determine who is responsible for updates. For some businesses, it is an employee. For others, it is an outside IT company. In many organizations, everyone assumes someone else is handling it. That uncertainty is the risk. Your business should know which computers and servers it operates, which Microsoft products it uses, who reviews security updates, how quickly important updates are installed, whether installation was successful, what happens when an update fails. Employee laptops are only one part of the picture. Ask about older computers, remote machines, servers, test systems, conference room devices, and computers that are rarely turned on. These are often missed because they are not part of the normal routine. Back up important information before major changes, but do not use the fear of an update problem as a reason to delay indefinitely. For critical updates, the right approach is controlled urgency. Identify the affected systems, test where appropriate, install the fix, and confirm that it worked.
Story 4. Google tightens the rules for browser extensions. In July, Google announced stricter privacy rules for extensions distributed through the Chrome Web Store. Enforcement began on August 1st. Browser extensions are the small add-ons people install to block advertisements, correct grammar, capture screenshots, manage passwords, schedule meetings, compare prices, or add AI features to the browser. Under Google's updated rules, extensions are expected to collect only the information necessary for their stated purpose. Developers must also provide clearer disclosures about data collection and changes to how information is used. Extensions that do not comply may face action from the Chrome Web Store. This may sound like a software development policy, but it addresses a business security problem that receives very little attention. Why it matters to your business. A browser is often the front door to a company's most important systems. Employees use it to access email, banking, payroll, customer records, cloud storage, accounting platforms, healthcare systems, project management tools, administrative portals. A browser extension may be able to see the websites an employee visits, read information displayed on a page, change page content, or interact with information entered into forms. Not every extension has these abilities, and most extensions are not malicious. But many businesses allow employees to install them without review. That creates a quiet form of unapproved software use. An employee may install an extension for a legitimate reason without realizing how much access it requests. An extension can also change ownership, receive a harmful update, become abandoned, or begin collecting more information than it originally did. What should your business do? Ask employees to review the extensions installed in their browsers and remove anything they no longer need. For company-managed computers, consider allowing only approved extensions. Before approving one, review. Who created it? What permissions it requests? What information it collects? Whether it has a clear privacy policy. Whether it is actively maintained. Whether the same task can be completed without it. Pay particular attention to extensions that can read or change information on every website. The number of downloads and the presence of an extension in an official store are useful signals, but they are not guarantees of safety. Browser extensions should be treated like any other business software: identified, reviewed, approved, updated, and removed when no longer needed.
Story 5. Cyber attacks move from computer screens to business operations. July also provided several reminders that cyber attacks do not remain confined to computers. Fairlife, the milk and nutrition products company owned by Coca-Cola, temporarily paused production at its United States facilities after detecting unauthorized access to parts of its production-related technology. The company said product quality and safety were not affected, but it took systems and operations offline while it investigated and restored the environment. In a separate incident, officials disclosed a coordinated cyber attack affecting more than 30 local water systems in Minnesota. Authorities said malicious, unauthorized access had been detected, although the investigation and attribution were still developing at the end of July. And in India, Bank of Baroda investigated a major data leak reportedly connected to a compromised employee email account. The exposed information was said to include customer and internal records, although the bank reported that its core banking systems remained secure. These organizations operate in very different industries, but the business lesson is the same. A cyber attack can interrupt production, expose customer information, delay services, create safety concerns, and force leaders to make high-pressure decisions with incomplete information. Why it matters to your business. A 20-person company may not operate a water system or a national production network, but it still has critical business processes. Consider what would happen if your organization suddenly lost access to email, customer records, scheduling, payroll, accounting software, shared documents, production equipment, online payments, telephone systems. How long could the business continue? Who would make decisions? How would employees communicate? How would customers be notified? How would you determine whether information had been stolen? A backup is important, but recovery requires more than a backup. The business also needs to know which operations must be restored first, who has authority to make decisions, and how work will continue while systems are unavailable. What should your business do? Identify the systems your business cannot operate without. Then make sure important information is backed up in a location that cannot be easily changed or deleted by someone who compromises your main network. Test whether files can actually be restored. Create a short incident response guide containing who employees should contact, who can call the technology provider, who can authorize systems to be disconnected, who contacts the insurance company, who communicates with customers, where important phone numbers are stored, how the business will operate manually for a limited period. Also, review the access held by technology vendors and outside service providers. A vendor may need administrative access to support your business, but that access should be protected, limited, monitored, and removed when the relationship ends. The goal is not to predict every possible attack. The goal is to make sure the company can recognize a problem, limit the damage, continue essential work, and recover in an organized way.
Cyberfiles takeaway. July's biggest stories were not only about OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, ransomware, or critical infrastructure. They were about control. Businesses are connecting more software, more vendors, more browser tools, and more artificial intelligence to their information and operations. Every connection creates value. Every connection also creates access. Small businesses do not need unlimited budgets or large security departments to manage that risk. They need to know what they use, decide who or what should have access, keep important systems updated, protect critical information, and prepare for the possibility that technology may become unavailable. Security becomes much more manageable when ownership is clear. Someone should know what technology the company uses. Someone should approve access. Someone should confirm updates. Someone should review unusual activity. And someone should know what to do when normal operations stop. That is the lesson connecting all 5 of July's major stories. Cyberfiles question. If one of your company's most important systems became unavailable tomorrow morning, does your team know who would take charge and how the business would continue operating? That wraps up the July edition of Cyberfiles. The common thread across these stories is simple. Security depends on knowing what your business is using, keeping it updated, and being careful about what you allow to act on your behalf, including AI tools. Thanks for listening to Cyberfiles, a cyber ops source production. Until next time, remember, secure today, resilient tomorrow.